Hey guys, welcome back. So I was planning on getting out on the water and filming a video, but this cold front's moved in. I'm not going to get to fish again this weekend. So I was trying to think of what kind of video I want to do, and I was looking through people's questions trying to decide on maybe a topic I could do a video on, and I just decided to do one on my most frequently asked questions. And the first question that I get the most often is, how well has the KastKing SPEED DEMON held up over the long haul? So I've had the KastKing SPEED DEMON for a year on January 14th, so in just a couple days. The reel works fantastic. I fished 103 days this year, and about 95% of my trips out on the water I use this reel some. Started out I used it all the time, and then found another reel that I liked better for most of my fishing, and only used this one for big heavy Texas rigs, Carolina rigs, and punching heavy cover. But just because I don't like the way that it fits in my hand, it's a little big and a little heavy, and I found a reel that fits my hand a little bit better, and it's way lighter and more sensitive. But this reel still works fantastic. Pitched it out here a few times. Reels in nice and easy. I most of the time I'm using it, pitching it like this, but it does still cast really well. I don't have any backlashing problems with it once I got it set up right. But the reel works fantastic. Nothing's wrong with it. All the lettering has wiped off the side of it, but that doesn't matter. The knobs have started to wear a little bit, but not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, actually the KastKing's held up well. I've had no problems with mine. I've heard of people breaking these, which I hear people breaking reels all the time, and the only reel I've ever broken in my entire fishing career is this Quantum, which was a cheap combo from Bass Pro, and I got it hung on a stump or something and turned the drag way up and snatched on it with heavy braid on it, and it stripped the gears. But that's the only one I've ever broken in my life, so I don't know how people break reels all the time. So the second most often question I get is, what is my favorite bait casting combo that I have, or I wish I had? My favorite bait casting combo that I own is the KastKing Assassin. With its dual cast control ability, it casts the best, and I can get it set up fine-tuned the most. But it being so light and fitting in my hand so well, I use this reel 99% of the time. I'll retie this thing over and over again, rather than reach back and grab another rod and reel combo that has a bait on it, because I like the way it feels so well and how sensitive it is. Especially when the fish aren't hitting it really hard. This thing I can feel bites that I don't on others. So this is definitely the favorite one that I own. It was like $60, 59 bucks, and I've had it right at a year also, and it's in fantastic shape. I've never cleaned, by the way, I never cleaned any of my reels this year yet, and it works perfect. The lettering didn't rub off on this one like on the Speed Demon. I'm not really sure why. Then the knobs are in a little better condition than the Speed Demon, but fantastic reel. Love using it. My favorite reel that I don't own would be the Concept Z. I've used one of those and fell in love with it, and I can't wait to get one. But I'm probably going to have to wait till one of these breaks, or I give one away before I get permission to buy another one. So yeah, that's that. The third most asked question is, what does my kayak setup look like, and how do I film from multi-angles? Well, to answer that, let's go out here to the garage and I'll turn some lights on and let's check out the kayak. So there it is, guys. That's the setup right there. Just a Hobie Outback, nothing special. For the camera mounts, I run one camera off this PVC like so. I flip it around like that and it films in front of me. And then when I want it out of the way, I just kick it back like that. I have the other GoPro mounted on a little mount right here with a clamp, so I can take it off, reach it, do whatever I need to do with it, clamp it back on. Sometimes I'll clamp it on to the fish finder, which you guys might want to see that. It's a Lowrance Hook 7, and I have the battery stored right down in here in this little compartment, in a little dry box. like so. That works out pretty well. And I got a little dry box that I keep under the seat. I put my cell phone battery and batteries for the camera and stuff like that in there. And then I have my little homemade stakeout pole mount, which is just a little piece of PVC with a hole in it drilled through the bottom, and I stick my little stakeout pole down in through there, and then you don't have to be like staked down, packed in the mud. You can just stick it down and it'll wedge in there and it'll hold you still. It works really well. I have the little, the fantastic Hobie seat, and then the milk crate that straps in the back holds 7 rods at one time I can have in there, and then I just throw my little tackle boxes down inside of it and a bag full of worms and go with it. But that's my little setup. It does the job well. I also have a Pelican down here. That's my second favorite kayak, and if it wasn't for me fishing places like Conroe where I was covering so much ground, I'd still be using that thing. I absolutely love that thing. I'm going to put a fish finder on that one so that I can do some more pond fishing and check out some of the structure and some of the places around here. But yeah, that's it. That's my setup. That's all there is to it. Nothing special. All my camera mounts are homemade PVC stuff, but it works fantastic for me. So let's get back into the office and answer a few more of your questions. Alright guys, well that was the kayak. On to the next question. Do I buy expensive hard baits or use cheap ones? And more importantly, do I change out the hooks? Well, no, I never change out the hooks. Most of my hard baits are cheap, Academy brand. I guess that's HO Express or H2O Express, I'm not sure. I do buy some Kevin Van Dam KVDs. I like their bigger square bills. I like the way they wobble. They have fantastic hooks on them. I don't know why you would change those out. They lay over just without hooking each other. And I've never had a fish come off of these, or the other ones for that matter. I do have some KVD rattle traps. I really like these better than the cheaper ones. For whatever reason, I seem like I get better bites with those. So yeah, I mostly buy cheap hard baits. I do have a few KVD ones that I like the way that they wobble, and they do have fantastic hooks on them. So I do buy a few of those, but mainly only in that square bill. And I never change the hooks. I've never seen the need for it. It's just wasting money to me. I've never lost a fish on them. I've lost fish on hard baits, but not because of the hook. So on to the next question. What brand hooks do I always talk about using on my videos? So I use these Eagle Claw extra wide gap fine point worm hooks. I use them in the 3/0 size most often because that fits most of my baits the best. They have skeet reefs on the front of them. They're American made hooks. They're really fine point. I use these flipping heavy cover with 2-ounce weights, and lots of times people say I'm crazy. Catch a lot of grief about them, but I get a 15 pack for like $3, and I've had the hooks bend out on me. I've had 7-pound fish, big fish, bend the hooks completely back, but they stay pinned. They don't come off. I've never lost a fish with these hooks from the hook failing me. So I highly recommend these, and was super frustrated with losing fish lots of times with these, without these, and then went to these and stopped losing fish. And I've fished with people before and tried to get them to put these on, and they don't, and they lose fish and I catch them. So take my advice, don't. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't lose fish, and I credit it to these hooks. The next question is, why do I often recommend Abu Garcia Black Maxes over the KastKings? Well, first off, they're $39, okay? So it's cheaper than any of the KastKings you're going to get, except for the White Max, and I just don't like the White Max. I have one and don't like it. Second off, I have 4 of these Abu Garcia Black Maxes. Some of them as old as 5 years old, like this one, which I took it off to put a KastKing on there recently. It's a left-handed one, so I use it when I'm pitching a Cinco and I don't want to be swapping hands all the time. And this one that I've had about 3 years. I throw spinnerbaits and crankbaits and stuff with it because I like the gear ratio. The only thing about it is it doesn't quite cast as far as some of the 10-12 bearing reels, but it is a fantastic reel. I've never had a failure with one. They're $39. So yeah, that's why I always recommend them, because it's a fantastic deal and a very durable reel. And probably the last question, because we're getting a little long-winded, what kayak do I recommend for people who are just getting into kayaking or they can't afford a Hobie? So I would definitely recommend Pelican brands. I have a Pelican that's over 5 years old. I treat it like crap, drag it around on the concrete, but that thing is fast, it is light, I fish out of it fine, it paddles better than most of the kayaks I paddle. If I'm in a situation where I can't use the pedals in my Hobie, I take the Pelican because it paddles so great. They're super cheap. I paid like $250 for that thing. I can stand up in it. They didn't have one you could stand up in when I bought it, but they do have some now you can stand up in. And I fished out of them and they're excellent. They're around the $700 price range, which I still think is introductory. Carry just as much stuff. Fantastic kayaks. So that's the kayak that I would recommend to anybody just getting into it or trying to do it on a budget. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. For you guys interested in the KastKing Speed Demon, it's been perfectly fine for me. It's lasted me all year long. I'm going to continue to use it. I've had no problems with it. If I had to buy it again, that's probably not what I would get, but I just wanted to try it. But the only reason, like I said, is because it doesn't fit in my hand real well. I would probably buy another Lose, like this one, because it fits in my hand better. It's a little lighter. It's 1:1 ratio. It casts just as far. I like the knobs better. It's about $20 more expensive. But you know, that's probably what I would do if I had to do it all over again. And then if I had to do it today, I'd probably buy a Concept Z. Although I know that's a $200 reel compared to $100 or $80. I just want a Concept Z like I wanted the Speed Demon. But not wanting to spend $200, that's probably what I would recommend over the Speed Demon. But if you want to try one, works fine. Had no problems with it. I do enjoy fishing with it so no complaints about it. Just not my favorite reel. But anyways, that's the update on the KastKing Speed Demon and some of my most often asked questions that I have to respond to on my old videos. And hopefully next weekend we have some good weather and I can get out and catch some mondos. So until then, see you next time out on the water.